On the vast battlefield, steeds charge like maniacs, each roaring as it runs, truly heroic. Riders and horses complement each other. What a spectacle. They are racing passionately on the track. This isn't just a competition. It's a full-blown quest for dreams between humans and horses, bursting with life. This leaves Iona buzzing with excitement. Paul's buddy Shrek is curious about the girl at Paul's side, just like a blast from his youthful past. Facing Shrek's curiosity, Paul stayed silent and left with Iona. On the way, Iona dreamed, while Paul wondered what she was thinking. Finally spilling the beans, Paul reveals he's been a horse trainer for 50 years and now has a horse that runs like lightning, quite the catch. However, no one has been able to tame this horse, but Iona has caught the eye of the heart of the sport, boasting amazing riding talent, simply impressive. Paul hopes she'll accept his training to compete in the race 2 months later and promises her 10% of the winnings. Iona hesitates. Considering her heart's unique, she asks Paul for some time to think. The next day, Paul arrives at the stables only to find Iona waiting eagerly, and after some playful bargain, they finally reach the 20-inning deal. The first training day was dull, just circling the corral, yet Iona wept. Back home, Iona replenished energy and told parents of her stable training, a true knight's dream. Parents were quite worried, since their daughter's safety comes first, but eventually they resignedly agreed to her request. Thus, Iona commenced her secret training sessions, gradually becoming accustomed to the rhythm of competition as Paul guided her to be fully prepared for the impending challenge. Paul specifically watched Shrek's race footage, a legendary jockey in history, and it filled her with motivation. Before long, Sammy showed up, as Iona's parents worried about her safety and hoped this would add a layer of protection. Upon hearing she was racing, Sam's heart filled with concern, yet Iona remained resolute, understanding that life is always challenging, and she was tired of living on hold. "Can you take care of me? I'll trust you. But you have to." Meanwhile, Paul's 2-month deadline has arrived, and the bank is ready to seize her farm. Despite her resentment, Sabina extends her father's deadline by 3 months. To qualify for the grand race, she is to get her amateur rider certificate. Paul brings Iona to a grove, training her speed and stamina, the plan's core. Iona rides the heart of the sport, galloping across the grass and grove like she was in a wild chase with a doe. They didn't feel tired. Instead, they got quicker until Paul was amazed to find they were nearing 70 kilometers per hour. Eventually, due to exhaustion, Iona fell on the grass, yet her speed symbolized champion status. She starts learning the race rules and understands the importance of whipping during the final sprint. Paul realizes she absolutely won't whip the horse. This brings joy to Paul because true knights don't need to whip, they can communicate through body language. Relying on each other's understanding, the time for qualification testing has come, and Paul is set to put Iona through a big test of her endurance. This riding simulator can mimic longer racing tempos. Iona starts strong, but as the speed picks up, her heart can't take it anymore. She gasps for breath, and ultimately Shrek has to end the test while Iona leads in agony. She had to rely on medication to stay functional, and eventually called Sammy. On the day of the exam, Paul voluntarily arrives at Iona's house. She is still utterly perplexed and has a desire in her heart to give up, but ultimately, she braces herself and follows Paul to the exam venue. The exam groundskeeper and Paul are old rivals, and he only allows Iona into the arena solo. The riding and testing go smoothly, and there's no doubt Iona is the best rider here, but the endurance test is giving her a serious headache. As the testing machine speeds up, Iona's breathing quickens, and just when she's about to give in, the machine suddenly shuts down. Paul had a plan. Turns out Paul brought Shrek to help him, and with the motor down, Iona manages to snag her amateur rider certificate. Iona expresses her gratitude for Shrek's help. The trio and the horse officially form a team, and the lakeside celebration that night is quite the bash. They celebrate their 18th birthday together, and the next day Iona resumes training, but Paul has a more pressing task at hand, raising funds for the race entry. Iona shares this news with Sammy, who immediately sells his new car, and the two happily ride a little electric go-kart back home. The next day, Iona's family visits the hospital. She thinks it's just a routine checkup, but little does she know her mother secretly decided to have her surgery. That evening, Iona was extremely thrilled to encourage the heart of the sport to take on the challenge of starting a race. Unexpectedly, the horse suddenly got spooked and caused her to fall down. It is only now that Paul realizes how different Iona is from other girls, and the reason for her desire to give up finally surfaces. Paul wishes Iona could take care of herself, but she's unwilling to turn back, struggling within herself. Paul tells Iona, "You need to overcome the differences posed by your physical condition." He then hopes she can focus on her recovery and forget about the races, but upon learning Paul's farm might be seized. If the heart of the sport doesn't find a suitable owner, it risks becoming someone's dinner, which leaves Iona in tears. One morning, while Iona is drinking water, disaster strikes. Sammy suffers a heart attack and gets rushed to the hospital. The medical team does their best, but Sammy still passes away, leaving Iona heartbroken. In fact, her father had sensed this day coming, but never expected it to arrive so swiftly. Iona enters the empty emergency room and finds a button Sammy left for her. She transforms this button into motivation, tightly holding it in her palm. On race day, Iona approaches the heart of the sport, gently kissing the horse's forehead, hoping the horse will fulfill her final wish. She then loads the heart of the sport into the trailer. Despite Paul's protests, she is determined to race with the heart of the sport. This may be her final life chance. Despite slim odds, she won't let anyone steal Paul's future or turn the heart of sport into a feast. If you enjoy this quirky and humorous content, don't forget to subscribe. Let's share more amazing moments together.